Hey outsole squad, it's your midsole man,
Eddbud here.
Thanks for joining us on the channel, it is always appreciated. Today I'm myth busting when it comes to the Alphafly Next Percent 2. I've been receiving loads of questions from viewers out there who are thinking about picking up the shoe, but where they've read some reviews, they've watched some of the videos that have come out about the shoe, and there's a few things that people are really confused about. And when you're spending a lot of money on a shoe like this, you don't want to be confused. So today I'm myth busting when it comes to the Nike Alphafly Next Percent 2. Thanks for joining us on the channel. Let's get straight into it today, guys. So this is the huge shoe everybody's talking about right now, the Alphafly Next Percent 2. Lots of videos out there, lots of reviews. I feel I've got enough miles into it now to have unlocked some of its secrets, to have unfurled some of the mysteries. It does look like it's landed on other parts of the globe right now and people have been able to pick up the new colourway. There's quite a few falsehoods that are attached to this midsole monster. Here's a load of myths busted about the Alphafly Next Percent 2. Firstly, was this the first shoe where AirPods like this have been utilised? Well, that's a big no-no. We've seen these sized pods back in the LeBron 15, 16 and 17 basketball shoes. I think the 17 landed in about September 2019, so even that one's way before the Alphafly actually launched. Are the AirPods in a different position between the V1 and V2 Alphafly? Well, there might be a very slight change, I don't think it's much though. It's probably production tolerances that have made these look like they're in a different position. I think the midsole stack and the fact that there's a bit of ZOOMX foam underneath the AirPods makes more of a difference. What pressure or PSI are the AirPods in the Alphafly Next Percent 2? Right, from everything that I've managed to find out, I think they're 25 PSI. Now, you've got those thinner air units that are used in the Pegasus 37 and the 38. I think in a men's shoe, they're about 20 PSI, and in the women's variation of the shoe, they're about 15 PSI. So you've got about 5 PSI more per AirPod in the Alphafly Next Percent 2 than the Pegasus models. Obviously, those are quite different air units. They're much thinner and obviously wider. So that means the pressure in those AirPods within the Alphafly Next Percent 2 is about 7 PSI less than my car tyres. That could explain why the Alphafly has always felt a little bit more aggressive to me in the mid to forefoot. So I think they're 25 PSI and they certainly seem a lot more highly pressured than anything else that's featured in some of Nike's shoes. Next one, Alphafly shoes wear out very quickly. Now, it's absolute hogwash in my experience. These things just go on and on. I know some local runners that have had pairs and they've got like 400 or 500 miles into them. Yes, you do hear about some people having AirPods bursting and things like that, but that's just because they've gone out on a very hot summer's day when it's about 35 or 36 degrees C. I am kidding right now. That's what it's like out there, just out there. I'm staying in here. There's loads of my buddies and shoe tubers have got loads of miles into them, so I don't see these being a non-durable shoe. I think there's a lot of longevity there. Now, there is a great study that someone's put out very recently that suggests the Alphafly is one of the most economical shoes of the lot. It supposedly gives you a 4% running economy benefit if you're using a brand new pair. This is only reduced by 0.07% with a pair of Alphaflys have 200 kilometers into them, so that's about 125 miles. So I think one pair I've got at the moment in my rotation have got about 70 miles on them, so they're absolutely fine. Then I think it goes down to about 3.43% with a pair that have over 250 miles or 400 kilometers into them. So these measurements were all done via a scientist using some sort of treadmill and loads of other special equipment and apparatus to determine the running economy. There's loads of control methods in there to try and make this very, very clear and a scientific test. I think they use the A6 Hyperspeed as a control shoe. So basically using a new pair of Alphaflys, you're going to get a 4% improvement in running economy. I think Alphafly with a blown AirPod was even like 2.5% better still, so that's with a blown AirPod. Quite staggering results, and it does show that the Vaporfly Next Percent 2 doesn't quite have the same running economy improvement. I think the longevity of the cushioning and the impact protection does start to deteriorate a little bit earlier. Maybe that's down to the fact that those AirPods are not included in that shoe. Who knows? Let's hope that they continue this study and introduce some of the newer versions of the shoes in there as well. This one was done with the original Alphafly, but it's the same type of tech. I don't think it's going to be hugely different with the Alphafly Next Percent 2. Quick shoe check today. I am rocking the Air Jordan 5 Moonlights. Probably not the best idea to wear a black shoe when it's as hot as it is outside, but they're super comfortable underfoot. Let's talk uppers now. Is Atom Knit any different to Atom Knit 2.0? Obviously we have Atom Knit 2.0 here in the Alphafly Next Percent 2. Is it really any different to the first version of the shoe? If anything, it feels a little bit thinner here in terms of the material, and there's a little bit less upper. So I'm not entirely sure whether it's a big benefit or not. Either way, Nike suggests that Atom Knit is made up of simple fly knit yarns that have been steamed and then stretched to form a more contoured fit. So it's supposed to be much lighter and more breathable. It always looks a little bit like a plastic spider's web to me, or perhaps some sort of nylon chainmail. Obviously, there's less opportunity for water and moisture to get caught up in this upper material, which makes it ideal really for racing in rainy conditions or perhaps in climates where it is extremely hot. I think when you're talking about race shoes, everybody cares a little bit more than about weight. Don't want to be wearing some sort of concrete brick on your foot. So when that's of paramount importance, I think actually Atom Knit hits the spot. Now, this next question's really interesting. A load of different people have asked me this. Why haven't Nike used fly print on this new version of the Alphafly rather than Atom Knit? Loads of people have asked me this. Well, it does seem odd that they have used Atom Knit again when fly print has been available and has been used in the Alphafly Next Nature as well. That shoe only came out a few months ago, so why not use that in this new version of the Alphafly? It's clearly lighter and perhaps more expensive, I suppose, to produce in terms of the process. Maybe they're holding it back for the Alphafly 3. That's the sort of thing that Nike have done in the past, isn't it? They give you a little hint of what's to come. They don't give you all of it. They leave you wanting more. I mean, it does seem logical to utilise an upper that was first seen back on the Vaporfly Elite in 2019. Apparently the upper on the Vaporfly Elite Fly Print edition only weighed 11 grams. So to put that into perspective, a insole within a shoe that's of my size typically weighs about 20 grams. So that's basically the same weight as the upper on a pair of the Vaporfly Elite Fly Print. That's insane. So I reckon that it's because they want to use it in the next iteration of the shoe. It's another thing they can do to perhaps push it forward a little bit and get us to buy the next one. When I was going through researching all the stuff I needed for this video, I did stumble across a video from Nike Running. It suggested that ZOOMX was half the weight of React, but also with a much higher energy return. So it does make you wonder how much easier or cheaper it is to produce shoes that utilise React. It definitely does seem to clock in heavier, though of course we've seen much heavier shoes recently that use ZOOMX as well. So again, it's probably a situation of nerfing the shoe a little bit. They don't want all of them to be super light because then nobody would bother buying the Vaporfly or the Alphafly. Now, there's a lot of people asking me why more triathletes aren't using the Alphafly. I've seen a few people really struggle to get them on foot, you know, as they come from one section of the triathlon onto the road running section. Let's be frank, guys, the Alphafly Next Percent and the Alphafly Next Percent 2 are exceptionally difficult to get on foot. In fact, I think the version 2 is even tougher than the first one. Unless you've got a buddy to, you know, pass you a shoehorn as you're coming up to put your shoes on in a triathlon, well, you're going to struggle a little bit. Also, in general road races, I'm detecting far fewer female athletes utilising the Alphafly. Is it down to perhaps those higher pressure air units? Maybe female athletes are just finding they're just too aggressive. Perhaps there is a difference between the men's and women's version of the Alphafly. Well, scratch that. I've just checked all of the boxes that I have of the Alphafly and the Next Percent, and in all of the shoes I own, at least, they have a unisex label on them with both male and female sizing. Maybe they adjust the pressure if it's a slightly smaller size, I don't know. But I can't find any information on that at all anywhere. So who knows on that one, the plot thickens. I wonder whether more people will adopt the Alphafly Next Percent 2 now they've adjusted the drop very slightly. Are people going to feel a little bit more comfortable and perhaps at home on this slightly higher drop version of the shoe? Okay, that's all of the strange little myths and mysteries I've uncovered about the Alphafly Next Percent and the Alphafly Next Percent 2. If I've missed something or you'd like to comment on any of the stuff that I've put in today, please do so down below. I've tried to research it as thoroughly as possible. If I've got something wrong, I'm very sorry. You know I don't mean it. You know I aim to please. Musical interlude today comes courtesy of DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. It's the fantastic Summertime. Now, whenever I listen to this song now, I do recall seeing Mr. Will Smith getting a bit upset a little while ago. I've got to be honest, I think if you're in the spotlight like that, there's probably better ways to deal with that type of situation, but it's never going to detract from the joy and the enthusiasm that I have for this song. It's got that perfect summertime vibe. There's that whole story there that the Fresh Prince talks about. You can almost imagine the scenes, can't you? Him sort of playing basketball with his new sneakers on, you know, waxing his car and cleaning it up, meeting up with all his friends and just generally having a jolly good time. The production's great on it as well, really warm and really cool. There's some real depth there to it. I can always remember the first time I heard it, I just thought that's going to be an absolutely ginormous smash hit, and it was. And still to this day, people are really enjoying it around about this time as well. Some really nice transform style scratching on there to produce that wonderful high-pitched melody that you've got. I think one of the things that really makes the track is those backing vocals as well. It just feels like a party mood. You used to get that sometimes on old Bo Diddley tracks. Kind of sounds a little bit live. It gives it some character and some feeling. If you've never heard it before, I'll be absolutely amazed. But do go and check it out. Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Thanks for tuning in today, cats. It's always appreciated. I'm off to sit in the bath, which is full of ice cubes. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell below for notifications. Please also give this video a thumbs up, like, and share it with your running buddies. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you